Second, these are live shots coming in from the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So this is where the ceremonial welcome will happen. You can see External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar. You can see India's ambassador to Russia by his side there. Of course, there's a conversation going on between the two of them. At 11 a.m. is when the ceremonial welcome will happen for the Russian president. Yes, General, continue.
So the thing is that India, unlike Ukraine, India is not a proxy of the West against China or this thing. India is a power by itself. We have got a major geographical advantage, right? People don't understand, like I have wargamed this 1,000 times, right? The geographical advantage which we have against China will deter China to do something silly, right? Because it just can't manage for a long term to do this thing. So one is about the American power diminishing because of expenditure of the equipment, money, funds. Second is, in case of Taiwan, which I will, tend to agree with you, NATO, European Union, I think he talked of 4 blocks, they have got virtually no love lost for Taiwan. Americans may have certain degree of commitment towards Taiwan, but Europe doesn't have, right? Europe has got more concerns about Russia and therefore they will like to egg a war against this thing. But Taiwan is going to be sold out by the Europeans if something happens. And with the diminishing power which America is today, China is on ascent. The distance which is there from American heartland to Taiwan makes it difficult today, right? I think it's a matter of concern, and till the time Japanese truly start pitching in and the people in the region start pitching in.
I mean, you look at the kind of flack and the blowback that the Japanese Prime Minister got just for saying that if China were to militarily attack Taiwan, there will be a response from Japan. I mean, she's been shut down.
But look, I think the problem Sanaichi Takai faced was she said out in public what was accepted in private.
Yeah.
Right? Because I can tell you whatever the Americans...
all the time.
Yeah, I do. I can tell you...
Nobody blows back on him.
I'm not a prime minister for good reason. You're too much foot and mouth disease here. But look, the Japanese, I can tell you, and the Koreans are in absolutely no doubt in private that they will go and help Taiwan if necessary. They are, first of all, they're very confident that the Taiwanese can look after themselves. 100 kilometers of strait is not an easy logistical challenge to overcome. If you look at Japan, Japan's entire military posture now is moving towards area denial. It has always been sea denial, area denial. It is now moving towards long-range area and sea denial, especially sea denial. You look, they've got the biggest fleet of non-nuclear submarines, one of the biggest fleets of non-nuclear submarines around. What do you think is going to happen to all those Chinese invasion vessels while they're, trying to cross? Not easy. And the Japanese already have very well calibrated strategies. I suspect what America's plans have always been is that you first let Taiwan do its own thing, then Japan and Korea do, unrestricted submarine warfare, to take a World War II analogy. And then when required, America will come in. Remember, Taiwan is not Ukraine. Ukraine did not take its security seriously till 2014. Taiwan has always, Quemoy and Motsu have always, the 2 islands closest to China, have been under martial law for the longest time. They still have the draft out there, extremely well-trained troops, and they practice with virtually every NATO military that there is.
Okay.
They are nobody's fools.
Okay,
there is
quickly.
one distinct advantage, unfortunately, when you go into war, that China has. It's a dictatorship. It doesn't care how many of its own die in the trenches, millions. I mean, you had Mao, who's responsible for killing 63 million of his own people, 40 million in 4 years flat. But wars are strange things, strange beasts, if I may say. I mean, there was a time at the peak in Vietnam, US had deployed 3 million of its soldiers, and yet, you remember what happened?
Yeah.
They had to run away. At the same time, in Germany, the US troops at its peak were about 5 million, not, of course, more than what in Vietnam were, and they won the war. So it's very difficult to say what will happen, except to say that China does not care about casualties because it's a dictatorship.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. I think the ceremony will begin in the next 10 to 15 minutes, but we'll be right back in just a couple of minutes and we'll get you live pictures again from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, where there will be the ceremonial welcome for President Vladimir Putin of Russia.